Archangel Michael says, you just received money from someone you don't know. Don't ignore this. My child, pause. Do not move past this moment. What is happening right now is not random, not accidental, not a coincidence drifting through your day. You were guided here deliberately, because something in your life had shifted and your spirit recognized it before your mind found language. You just received money from someone you don't know, and on the surface, it appeared simple, practical, even forgettable. Yet inside you, something tightened. A question rose without words. A hesitation whispered. That was not confusion. That was discernment awakening. This message is a divine interruption. A pause placed gently but firmly in your path. You were not meant to ignore it, dismiss it, or explain it away. Something is slightly misaligned, not broken, not ruined, just off enough to slow what was meant to arrive next. You have felt this misalignment already. The sense that progress should be happening faster. The frustration when momentum builds and then quietly dissolves. The feeling that you are standing near a door that refuses to fully open. Hear me clearly. You were personally selected to notice. Many would have accepted and moved on without reflection. Many would have silenced the inner nudge and called it nothing. But you paused, you wondered. You felt the weight of the moment. That sensitivity is not weakness. It is evidence that your spirit is alert, responsive, and ready for alignment. Time matters now, not because danger is approaching, but because opportunity is hovering. Timing is the doorway through which provision passes. When alignment is delayed, blessings do not disappear. They wait. They circle. They remain near, pressing gently against your awareness. You have felt that pressure lately, like something unfinished following you quietly. You are not late. You are not overlooked. But you are standing in a narrow window where awareness becomes critical. This is not about blame. This is not about fear. This is about invitation. A soft call saying, look again, feel again, stay present. I am speaking directly to you because your life carries significance beyond what you have been told. You have been asking for clarity in subtle ways. Through exhaustion, through silence, through nights when answers did not come. Now clarity approaches disguised as something ordinary, testing whether you will recognize its voice. Do not rush forward. Do not scroll past your intuition. Let your breathing slow. Let your defenses soften. What feels small right now is connected to something much larger, and the next layer is beginning to surface, waiting to be noticed. Remain with this moment. Let it settle without rushing to meaning. What you sensed was real, and it arrived because you are capable of receiving it. The stillness you feel is not empty, it is attentive. Something is aligning quietly beneath your awareness. If you stay, more will become clear. If you pause, direction will rise. This interruption is gentle, but it will not repeat in the same way. Notice what follows next. Do not turn away now. Stay present. There was a moment in your past that did not feel dramatic when it happened. No loud warning, no clear sign, just a quiet shift, subtle enough to be overlooked. A decision made quickly, or a decision avoided because you were tired of deciding. A voice you trusted at the time. A silence you thought would pass. You did not know it then, but that moment gently redirected your path by just a few degrees. After that, life kept moving, but something felt heavier, not always painful, just weighted. You began carrying questions without answers. Why does effort sometimes feel disconnected from results? Why do certain patterns return, even after you believed you had outgrown them? Why does rest feel temporary instead of restoring? These questions have followed you, not accusingly, but persistently. You have been confused and you have been exhausted. You have done the work, shown up, tried again, adjusted your expectations. Still, something has felt slightly off. That feeling is not imagination. It is your spirit remembering a disruption your mind was not ready to name, and you have quietly blamed yourself for it, even when you could not explain what you did wrong. Listen carefully now. That moment was not fully your fault. You were under pressure. You were responding with limited information. You were protecting yourself in the only way you knew how at the time. When people are overwhelmed, they do not always choose incorrectly. They choose what feels survivable. And survival is not sin. It is human. The disruption did not come from malice or carelessness. It came from influence, timing, and emotional weight converging at once. You were not trying to step away from alignment. You were trying to stay afloat. And what you did helped you endure, even if it quietly altered your direction. This is why your body still reacts to certain reminders. This is why some opportunities feel strangely familiar yet distant. This is why your intuition has grown louder recently, nudging you to re-examine moments you thought were finished. Your spirit has been patient, waiting for you to be ready to look again without fear. The money you received is not the disruption itself. It is an echo, a signal touching the surface of something deeper. Something about exchange, agreement, or permission shifted back then, and it has been rippling forward, asking to be acknowledged, not judged. You have not failed. You have been learning, and learning often looks like wandering before understanding. Compassion is required now, especially toward yourself. Blame will only cloud what clarity wants to reveal. Stay with this awareness. Let it settle without trying to solve it yet. You are being guided gently toward understanding, and understanding comes layer by layer. The heaviness you have carried is beginning to explain itself, and what has been hidden is preparing to step closer into view. Do not rush away from this feeling. It is leading you somewhere important. When alignment shifts, even in the smallest way, life does not shatter, it echoes. The change is subtle at first, almost unnoticeable, but over time it expresses itself through delay, repetition, and a quiet sense of resistance. You continue moving forward, yet something feels slower than it should. Peace comes, but it does not stay. Breakthrough appears close, then pauses just before arrival. You have noticed this, the same type of obstacle showing up, in different forms, the same lesson circling back, asking to be completed rather than escaped. It has made you question yourself. Am I missing something? Am I doing something wrong? These thoughts have whispered through your mind in tired moments. But hear this clearly, what you are experiencing is not punishment. It is protection. Setbacks have been holding you back from outcomes that would have cost you more than you realized. Delays have been guarding you from stepping forward without full alignment. What felt like denial was often redirection. You were spared from entanglements, agreements, and consequences that would have pulled you further off course. Even when it frustrated you, restraint was at work. However, protection is not meant to last forever. It is designed to hold space until awareness arrives. And awareness is arriving now. This is why things feel urgent without being threatening. Your spirit recognizes that a correction is possible, and timing matters. When the moment passes, life continues, but with more effort, more weight, more resistance. Cycles repeat when something essential remains unaddressed. They do not repeat to mock you, but to invite completion. The pattern you are tired of is not permanent. It has simply been waiting for recognition. Recognition dissolves repetition. Understanding ends the loop. You are closer to release than you think. Sensitivity increases. When change approaches, emotions rise, intuition sharpens, restlessness appears. These are signs that alignment is within reach, not far away. The discomfort you feel is not a warning to retreat, it is an invitation to become aware. Do not rush to correct anything yet. Correction begins with clarity. Clarity begins with observation. You are being asked to notice without judgment, to see without panic, to feel without shame. What needs attention will reveal itself more clearly if you remain calm and present. The delays in your life have not erased your future. They have preserved it. What has been blocked has been waiting for the right condition to flow again. That condition is understanding, not effort. You have already tried effort. Now awareness is required. Breathe into this truth. Let it soften your frustration. You are not behind. You are not stuck. You are standing at the edge of a shift that requires honesty and gentleness. Something has been watching over your path, slowing you just enough to keep you safe. And now, as protection begins to lift, a deeper layer of insight is approaching. Stay with this moment. What you are about to realize will change how you see everything that has been delayed. You have never been as alone as you thought you were. Even in moments where silence surrounded you, where answers felt distant, where your prayers felt unfinished or unheard, there was observation around your life. Not scrutiny, not judgment. Attention, careful, intentional awareness following your steps, noting your endurance, recording what you carried without complaint. There is a realm beyond what you can see that has been attentive to your journey. Every tear you wiped away quickly, so no one would notice. Every time you chose to keep going, instead of collapsing. Every quiet plea you released into the night without expecting a reply. None of it vanished into nothing. It was gathered, understood, and held. You were seen when you felt overlooked. You were supported when you thought you were surviving alone. Help moved around you subtly, adjusting outcomes you never realized were close to harming you. Some conversations never happened. Some doors never opened. Some situations dissolved before they could fully form. At the time it felt disappointing. Now you can sense it differently. That was not absence. That was intervention. You come from more than just your own story. There's legacy tied to your life, intention woven into your presence. Some of what you carry was entrusted to you because you are capable of holding it with care. That is why alignment matters. That is why moments like this arrive when they do. You are not being monitored for failure, you are being watched with hope. There have been prayers spoken on your behalf, not always by you. There has been unseen support surrounding your decisions, especially when you did not trust yourself. When you hesitated, something waited with you. When you rushed, something slowed the outcome. When you doubted, something remained steady. Help is available now, closer than before, but it responds to willingness, not force, not fear. Awareness opens the door. Presence invites assistance. You are being asked, gently, if you are ready to engage instead of endure. This moment is not accidental. Observation always precedes movement. When attention increases, it means something is about to shift. You are being drawn into partnership with what has been watching over you quietly. Not to be controlled, but to be guided. You do not need to prove yourself worthy. You already are. What is needed now is consent, a quiet internal decision to stay open, to listen, to respond when clarity arrives. You have been protected long enough. Now preparation is turning into invitation. Let yourself feel supported without suspicion. Let yourself believe that care has been present, even when you could not feel it. The stillness you sense now is not empty. It is attentive. Something is waiting for your response. Remain here. Do not pull away from this awareness. The watchful presence around your life is preparing to move with you, not just for you. And what comes next will require your attention in a new way. Stay present. The next moment is closer than you think. This is the moment of rerouting, not loud, not dramatic, not marked by chaos or collapse. It arrives quietly, with precision, asking for attention rather than urgency. A small adjustment now prevents a heavy correction later. You are not being pushed backward. You are being angled forward with greater accuracy. Rerouting requires willingness, not certainty. You do not need the full picture to say yes. You only need permission inside yourself to pause, to listen, to allow something higher than habit to guide your next step. This is not about fixing the past. It is about choosing alignment in the present. You may feel resistance rise when this moment touches you. A desire to keep things as they are because at least they are familiar. Familiarity can feel safer than truth. But safety without alignment eventually becomes a burden. You have carried enough weight already. This reroute does not demand explanation to others. It does not require dramatic announcements or visible change right away. It begins internally with a recalibration of intention, a quiet acknowledgement that something needs to be adjusted, even if you cannot yet name how. Soon, something will surface. It may come as a memory returning with new clarity. It may arrive through a conversation that feels unexpectedly important. It may appear as a detail you suddenly notice, a name that lingers, a feeling that will not release. This is not random. This is guidance taking form. When it appears, your role is not to react immediately. Do not rush to justify or dismiss it. Sit with it, let it unfold fully. Truth reveals itself in layers, and haste can interrupt its clarity. Observation now creates ease later. You are being asked for consent, not compliance. Alignment cannot be forced. It responds to willingness. Even a quiet internal yes creates movement. Even a soft surrender opens space for redirection. This reroute is gentle because it respects your strength. You have endured enough abrupt change. Now precision is required. Small shifts create large outcomes when timing is right, and timing is right now. You may not see immediate results. That does not mean nothing is happening. Correction often works beneath the surface first, rearranging conditions, preparing pathways, softening resistance. Trust the subtlety. It is intentional. Stay attentive in the coming moments. Listen to what repeats. Notice what stands out. Pay attention to what no longer feels aligned. These are signals, not threats. They are invitations to move with awareness. You are not losing control. You are gaining direction. The path ahead is adjusting to meet you more fully, but it requires your cooperation. Remain open, remain present. The reroute has begun, and what surfaces next will help you understand why this moment matters so much. Do not hurry past this threshold. Let awareness lead gently. The smallest inner adjustment, honored now, protects future peace, preserves momentum, and allows what was delayed to arrive without struggle, confusion, or unnecessary sacrifice later for you. As revelation approaches, it rarely announces itself with certainty. It arrives softly, pressing against your awareness, stirring emotions you thought were settled. You may feel exposed, not to others, but to yourself. A sense of clarity mixed with discomfort. Relief paired with unease. This is not instability. This is truth moving closer to the surface. Right now, your emotions may feel heightened. Small things feel heavier. Memories resurface unexpectedly. Your body reacts before your thoughts can organize. This is because revelation does not begin in the mind. It begins in the spirit, then moves outward. What you are feeling is alignment adjusting internally before it becomes visible externally. You may feel the urge to act quickly, to explain, to correct, to confront, or to retreat. Resist that impulse. Reaction clouds revelation. Observation completes it. You are being invited to witness what is being shown without rushing to control the outcome. Something is being exposed not to shame you, but to free you. Exposure is not accusation. It is illumination. What was hidden can no longer guide your life, once it is seen clearly. And seeing clearly gives you back authority you didn't realize you had surrendered. You may notice patterns becoming obvious in ways they never were before. You may suddenly understand why certain choices drained you, why certain connections felt heavy, why certain opportunities never brought peace, even when they looked right. This understanding may bring grief. Allow it. Grief is part of release. It does not mean you are going backward. It means you are letting go honestly. Do not judge yourself for what you are realizing now. Awareness arrives when readiness exists. You could not have known earlier what you are able to hold now. This moment is not late, it is precise. As truth surfaces, stay grounded. Breathe. Give yourself space to feel without reacting. Not everything that is revealed requires immediate action. Some truths are meant to settle first, to rearrange your inner landscape before they change your outer behavior. You may feel a desire to withdraw briefly, to be quiet, to observe more than speak. Honor that instinct. Silence creates clarity. Stillness allows truth to land gently, instead of forcefully. What is being revealed now will not take anything essential from you. It will remove what was distorting your direction. The discomfort you feel is temporary. The clarity it brings is lasting. Stay present with what is unfolding. Let understanding complete its work. This phase is not about answers yet. It is about sight. And once you see clearly, the next steps become lighter, simpler, and less forced. Remain here. Do not rush ahead. Revelation is finishing its approach. What you understand next will prepare you for restoration that does not repeat old wounds, old cycles, or old compromises. Something is settling into place, and it is doing so gently, deliberately, and with care for your heart. Restoration is opening now, quietly, without spectacle. It does not arrive as a sudden reversal of everything that hurt you. It arrives as a return of what was always meant to be yours, but in a form that no longer wounds you. Peace, direction, provision, clarity, these begin to reappear when alignment is restored, not when the past is repeated. Understand this clearly. Restoration does not mean going back. It does not mean reopening doors that drained you, returning to patterns that diminish you, or revisiting versions of yourself that survived but did not thrive. Restoration is forward-moving. It preserves what you learned while releasing what burdened you. It gives back without reopening the injury. You may sense this window opening through subtle shifts. A calm where anxiety once lived. A clarity where confusion lingered. A sense of readiness replacing hesitation. These are signs that the environment around your life is changing to support you again. What was stalled is beginning to loosen. But this window is responsive. It responds to presence. It responds to honesty. It responds to your willingness to move without clinging to what feels familiar but no longer fits. Hesitation here does not cancel what is coming, but it can delay its arrival, not as punishment, but as protection. Timing adjusts to readiness. You may feel tempted to pause out of caution. That instinct has served you before, but now discernment is asking for a different posture. Not rushing, not freezing, moving with awareness. Restoration flows when you step forward gently but decisively. What returns to you now may look different than what you imagined. Provision may come through an unexpected channel. Peace may require releasing a role you've outgrown. Direction may ask you to trust yourself in new ways. Do not reject what arrives simply because it does not resemble the past. This is not repetition, this is renewal. You are not required to struggle to receive what is aligned. Strain is not a prerequisite for restoration. Ease is not a sign of unworthiness. If something flows with calm and clarity, allow it. You have earned gentleness through endurance. Stay attentive during this window. Notice what feels lighter. Notice what no longer demands effort. Notice what supports your well-being instead of testing your limits. These are indicators of restoration taking shape. Do not wait for perfect certainty before moving. Certainty often follows obedience to awareness, not the other way around. Trust what is settling into your spirit now. Trust the clarity that has replaced confusion. Trust the calm that feels unfamiliar but right. This window will not shout to get your attention. It will whisper, and it will not remain open indefinitely in the same way. Remain present. Remain receptive. What you choose to engage with now determines how fully restoration is allowed to unfold. Something is returning to you not to bind you to the past, but to anchor you in a future that feels whole. Stay with this moment. The next step is closer than it appears. My beloved, this is the moment where everything becomes simple, not easy but clear. Not because every answer has arrived, but because you can finally feel the truth settling inside you. The mistake does not define you. The hesitation does not define you. The delay does not define you. What defines you now is how you respond to what has been revealed. You were never disqualified by what you didn't know. You were never diminished by choosing survival when clarity was unavailable. You are standing here because you endured, because you stayed open enough to listen when awareness finally knocked. That matters more than perfection ever could. This is your invitation to respond, not with panic, not with overcorrection, but with presence. A quiet internal decision to stay aligned. To stop pretending you don't feel what you feel. To stop rushing past moments that ask for honesty. Your response does not need to be loud, it only needs to be real. You may feel the urge to wait for more confirmation, to ask for another sign, to delay it just a little longer. Understand this gently. Clarity does not always repeat itself in the same form. When awareness arrives, it asks to be honored, not obeyed blindly, but acknowledged sincerely. You are not being asked to fix your entire life right now. You are being asked to choose alignment in this moment, to say yes to what feels true, to release what no longer feels clean in your spirit, to trust that the next step will reveal itself once you commit to presence. Hope is not distant for you. It is close, but it requires engagement. Not striving, not forcing, simply remaining connected to what you now understand. When you move from awareness instead of fear, your path becomes lighter. Do not measure yourself against who you think you should have been. Measure yourself by who you are choosing to be now. Growth happens in moments like this, when honesty replaces avoidance, when courage shows up quietly. Stay with this message. Let it continue working in you after these words end. Let it influence how you pause, how you choose, how you listen. You do not need to announce your decision to anyone. Your life will reflect it naturally. You are not standing at the edge of loss. You are standing at the threshold of alignment. What you choose now sets tone, direction, and timing, and you are capable of choosing wisely. Remain present, remain open. Say yes internally to truth, to correction, to restoration. This is not the end of something. It is the beginning of movement, and the stillness you feel now is not hesitation. It is readiness. Do not turn away. Stay connected. What unfolds next depends on your willingness to remain here, aware, grounded, and gently committed to the path opening in front of you.